Kyle Bradge from Chaparral Motorsports, here with Bryce from Hi-Flo Racing Filters. Now, Bryce, there's lots of differences in air filters and oil filters. Here on the table, we've got an assortment of different types of filters here. So, what can you tell me about the Hi-Flo oil filters and air filters that make them unique as far as the other brands on the market?
Okay, so specifically oil filters. Our filters are TUV approved.
What does that mean?
Here. So TUV is a company, primarily it's a German company, but this is a company that certifies factories to be 9002 specifications. They also test products. So say we're familiar with underwriters labs in the U.S.
Okay.
Their standard is, will it hurt you if you use it properly? So it's literally, they're testing for safety. TUV tests quality. Okay. So TUV's standard for oil filter is the item it replaces. So quite literally, their standard is it is as good or better than the OE. It has to be at least as good to get TUV certification. Okay. We're the only filter manufacturer in the world that's TUV certified for oil filters.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's on every item, all 115 models. So it's the most stringent standard available, and it's on each item. So it's not a single standard, it's 115 separate standards. Okay. And you have to recertify every 3 years to maintain it.
Interesting. So question, there are other filters on the market that claim that they filter down to a higher micron level than your filter filters down to. What do you think about that?
If there was an industry standard test, that would be a much easier question to answer, because I don't want to say that anybody is cheating on tests, but if you don't know what the test criteria are, you don't know what the results mean.
That's pretty true too.
So if you have someone say you're 10 microns, but the test was a single pass of the fluid and it was looking for did it capture any 10 microns, that's one result versus did it capture 50%.
Interesting. That's a good.
So if you don't know what the standard of the test was, you have no idea what the results mean. So for us, we do a standard test on all filters that is at 20 microns. So it's particles that are damaging. So smaller than 20 micron can actually pass by the piston ring and go out with the exhaust anyway.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
that's something I never did.
20 microns is our standard test because of that, and our standard filter is 98.7% absolute capture at 20 microns, and our performance filter, the RCs, is 99.3%.
Okay,
so different media between the two. So it's virtually taken out every damaging particle.
Okay. Now, as far as the metal encased ones that are spin-on typically, and then you've got the filters that slide into the engine casing itself. Is the media on those the same, or are they different?
There's several different medias because you have different flow rate associated with a different media. Okay. So between demands of the engine as far as oil, typically speaking, we're looking for a certain level of performance. We have to be within the specs of the OE, and then within those specs, we're looking for the best performance of the filter. So one of the things that we do is we try and put more paper. So you see how tightly spaced the pleats are.
How dense it is, yeah.
We also have a mini sleeve valve so that our valve doesn't, on the pressure reliefs, doesn't take up volume on the filter. It's internal. One of our advantages typically is what's called the pressure loss. So where the upstream oil coming into the filter is at a higher pressure than the downstream oil going out. And the way you keep the pressure drop numbers from getting to the point that it bypasses and is no longer a filter is you have more media, so it will accept more contaminants before it can't maintain the pressure drop numbers.
Interesting. So is it safe to say that each of the different colors of media here is a different flow rate?
Not necessarily flow rate, but a different material. You can vary the flow rate by how you assemble, how much media you use. There is a maximum flow. You have different pore sizes. You can vary the flow rate by using a paper that has larger pore sizes so that you get more flow. Sometimes there's a sacrifice in filtration, but all of it you have to follow the OE spec.
Okay.
So in order to maintain the certification so that you know your filter is the correct filter, you start at the OE spec and you stay close to that, but you maintain the flow rate and the filtration.
Awesome, cool. So moving on to air filters, what makes the Hi-Flo filter a great air filter?
All right, so on paper filters, which is our HFA product, our place in the market. So when we got into doing replacement air filters, there were lots of people doing performance replacement. There were very few people doing stock replacement. So we do stock replacement. And by stock replacement, we're making a filter that performs exactly like stock in every way that we can. So typically, we're going to try and make it even look identical. So if you pick this filter up, it's going to look exactly like it down to the color of the plastic, the color of the media.
Interesting.
So these are
disposable filters. So all the stock replacement filters are disposable.
Yep.
You put it in, you run it when it's time to service your vehicle, you chuck this one and put a new one in.
Yep.
Now, how is that different from, you guys also do serviceable filters, correct?
Yep, the foam filters are serviceable, and they're dual density foam, high quality adhesives, and these basically you oil them. Everybody knows about foam filters. You oil them. You want to use a high quality filter oil product. Our filters typically are going to last many washes. My personal one, I usually get about 10, and after you can tell,
you can feel
when
the
it's
foam
when
just
it's
not
time. The
quite
foam
as
starts
dense.
to degrade a little bit.
Interesting.
What I have noticed is, if you use a good quality cleaner, filters last longer, obviously. And that's the primary thing, is that you're cleaning them often and using a good quality cleaning product.
So serviceable filter versus disposable filter, what's your recommendation?
It depends on your riding style or where you ride. If you're on a street bike, typically the disposable filter, especially newer bikes where you've got computer-controlled fuel mix. If you're changing to a cleanable, you have to be really careful about how much it changes a fuel-air mix, because you can get some odd performance, so you get too rich or too lean. Off-road, typically you're in a much dustier environment, which means a lot more time replacing and cleaning filters, and then a reusable filter really is a better way to go.
Because you can just, after the ride, clean it, throw it back in, you're ready to roll again.
And for me, I keep two of them. I keep one in the bag oiled up, replace it, clean the other one, oil it back up, and ready to go again.
Makes sense. Awesome. Well, there's the lowdown on Hi-Flo air filters and oil filters. Thank you, Bryce. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
Please come to Chaparral Motorsports and take a look at our entire selection of Hi-Flo products for your vehicle. Until next time, take care and ride safe.